What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Just a quick video, just in light of the news today, in terms of another postponement for Leeds United. But before I get into that, you know the drill, people. Like, comment, subscribe. Liking the video is the best way to help the channel out in terms of getting us out the algorithm hell. So please hit a like on the video. Gotta give a shout out to Karen Curtin and Tim Hurst for the super thanks on the last video. Super thanks is along the line of like and dislike and share in the YouTube videos, and you can donate that way. It's just like a super chat, and it all helps the channel out. Gotta give a shout out to Derek, who's celebrating his 60th birthday. That comes straight from Kiabut. Okay, so shout out to Derek. All right, uh, and listen, yeah, I'm doing the video as well because obviously I've had a few messages from people who are missing the football and in turn missing the content. So if this just uplifts your mood just for a minute, then I've done my job here. But listen, we're here, and we're here to talk about the postponements because obviously, in light of everything that's happening, we've had a game postponed against Forest, which we mentioned on the community post, and now we've got another one against Manchester United, and that's via the police and the Premier League. You know, they've put out a statement saying there will be 7 games, I think, going ahead this weekend. 3 are cancelled. Us and Manchester United, or Manchester United and us. Brighton Palace, that was due to rail strikes anyway, but again, that's some kind of rivalry that only Brighton and Palace can explain, so they won't be doing that one. And also Chelsea Liverpool, those are the only games affected. And it's quite interesting. I hear about integrity of the league, but we kind of had this the last couple of years in light of the pandemic and in games being cancelled and then having to be squeezed in later in the season. So I think really and truly that we're quite used to it. And my thing is, as long as it doesn't interrupt our FA Cup run to the final, I'm all good. You know what I mean? But nah, listen, why I'm thinking though, in terms of missing income, I think of it from a fan point of view, in terms of fans that have travelled from wherever they are, whether it's local, whether you've decided to get a hotel for the night and stay and do whatever, whatever, but also fans are internationally that travel, because I can only imagine traveling all the way here, and we've heard stories already of fans that have traveled and won't be getting to the games. Because I think of myself, if I went over to travel watch the Pittsburgh Penguins play and then all of a sudden the game was postponed, I'd be absolutely gutted. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the fans that aren't getting to travel, and shout out to the workers as well, because there's people that depend on match day income, whether it's a supplemental income or it's their main one. You know, they would have accounted or forecasted for that income, so they probably won't be getting it unless the clubs give good gestures. I mean, it's unlikely, but you know, just shout out to those guys as well. Um, Yeah, I mean, in terms of us as well, I mean, in terms of the fixtures in regards to the policing, I did have a feeling once the first one was done against Forest that we wouldn't be playing this one, just due to the police being spread out everywhere. And this is a heavily police fixture, whether people think it's fair or not. It's a historically, it's an historical rivalry which garners a lot of different kind of support. I mean, listen, you only have to go back to last year in Manchester, and I reminded Saeed of this on his stream earlier, in terms of the ruckus that broke out in Manchester City Centre. So listen, it was always going to be cancelled on police advice if there wasn't going to be enough officers, I'm afraid. But I was thinking as well, though, people, wouldn't it have just been something if we missed that home game against Forest, which I think we would have won, by the way, and then we go against Manchester United away from home and then have a 2-week international break? It'd have been such a Leeds United thing, wouldn't it? It really would have been. But alas, we're not doing that, and it's a shame as well. I had a preview coming up this week, which would have been so dope, man. It would have been wicked. It would have been a Man United fan I haven't had on here before. I think a few of you would have recognised him as well. But hopefully, we'll get it done later in the season whenever this game is rearranged. But yeah, listen, as long as you keep it as clean as possible, give me your thoughts on what's been going on over the past couple of weeks in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear. Um, it's interesting. There's so many different viewpoints. I know people think it's gone too far. I know people think it's respect for the monarchy. Whichever side you're on, it's not even a side. It's just an opinion. People, no one's right or wrong on this one. I can see the plus and I can see the positives and negatives to both sides. Call me a fencer if you will, but I can see it. Like, but listen, I was all against the Forest game being postponed. I wasn't saying that much against the Man United one being postponed. I'm not gonna lie, especially in the little shaky form we've been in. So listen, we'll take that in later in the year. No problem at all. But I was going to say, listen, there will be Premier League football for people to watch. But if there wasn't, there's a League Earn match this weekend, Lille versus Toulouse. That would have been a chance for everyone to see Jonathan David. If you remember, we were linked with Jonathan David a couple of years ago. Although seeing the way that we recruit in that terms of we can't have competition for Bamford, I don't see how we would have been in for Jonathan David. But it will be a good chance for everyone to see him. And listen, if the Lille Toulouse match is rubbish, well, you had nothing to lose. All right, listen, I'll get my coat. But just before I exit, just want to talk about some free transfers. And you see Diego Costa go to Wolves. He's signed there today. That's a brilliant free sign. And what's the one that we were linked with all summer? Juan Mata. Well, I think that chapter is well and truly closed as he is now signed for Galatasaray. So I don't think that is ever going to happen uh, in football term, which is a shame because I'd have absolutely loved to have seen him come to the club on a free and just give his experience and quality, especially in set piece scenarios at the club at Premier League level. I still think he has a bit to give, but he's decided to take his talents elsewhere. I mean, everything else that is to discuss. There's not really much else to discuss in the Leeds United world. Everything is pretty old now in terms of the fines between Leeds and Barnsley, and Jesse Marsh having that he remixed the line, didn't he? Saying it was a football decision for Dan James now, not the one in one out, which is seems like a little bit of a note from above, but hey, it is what it is. What else has been going on? There's not really been much else. Darko Giambi's been doing training, extra training, which is always good to see. Always love to see that on with footballers doing extra work when they don't actually have to. But yeah, it's just a bit of a blow overall for me in terms of the football for us anyway. Leeds United just nearly a month. We're not back until the home game against Villa, which is in October, and we're not even halfway through September. So yeah, it is a shame for me. I do miss it. I missed it last weekend. You get on with other stuff, but there's nothing like getting ready for a game. I know ours was Monday, but you gear yourself up. You're like, well, what have this team done? What's this team done? We need to win in order to get back in. There was just none of that. Now we get to watch these this weekend and wonder, well, are we going to be moved back into the bottom half at the end of this Premier League weekend? Yeah, it does suck. It does suck, but it is what it is. This is the cards we've been dealt with at this point in time. But the games will come thick and fast as they will before the World Cup, and it will be the same after the World Cup. So there'll be more football to look forward to if you look at it in that kind of long term view. So yeah, not really much else to say. Let me just check if there's anything I've missed. Because you know me, I don't like to do content unless there's anything to talk about. But obviously, with this game being postponed, that is something to talk about with it being the second in a row. And I want to get all your comments in. Please get your comments in on how you've been and how you're feeling in regards to the football being off. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Don't wanna waffle. Don't wanna waffle here. Don't wanna waffle. But listen, hopefully you've enjoyed this little piece of content. I'm not sure when I'm going to be back as of yet. I was even planning on doing a watch long for the Man United game, believe it or not. So that's been canned, obviously, as well. So, but yeah, we'll be back. I'll be back at some point when there's something to talk about. And yeah, until the next game, take care, everyone, and we'll be back soon. So yeah, smash a like on the video, please. Peace out.